Hi, it's Mark here. Welcome to this video tutorial for percentages, fractions, decimal and estimates. Now, I will break it down. I'll be doing a series of videos for these, but they do all go together. And as we run through this, you'll see what I mean by that. So, for example, percentages an amount out of 100. So if you've got 70%, that's 70 over 100. If you were to write that as a fraction, it would be 70 with a line over 100. If you were then converting that into decimal, then it's 70 divided by 100. So it would be 0.7. So you'll see as we run through, and I'm going to break it down, I'm going to explain each of them for you so that you're understanding each of them individually, and then you'll understand what I mean by this, saying that they're all together. Right, here we go, without further ado. So let's have a wee look at fractions. So fractions are a part of a whole number. The total number and the parts and the way in which you write a fraction. So you have a number on the top, and then you have a line separating them, and then you have a number on the bottom. So you have a numerator on the top and a denominator on the bottom. I'll give you an example. If a banana is split into two segments, one of those segments is handed to you, then we possibly say that there's two segments and you've got one of them. So you've got one out of the two. So two have been made available from the whole item, which would be one banana. You've got two segments, two parts there, and one of those parts has been made available to you. So that's one out of two. So if we write that we can write that down as a fraction. So it's 1 over 2. So it's a half, meaning that it's a half of a whole one. If we think on pizza, it's always a good example. As you can tell, one of my favourites. So if we have the pizza here, for example, and we cut it in half, and that's you've got the two halves there. If you cut it again, so you half a half, then you get a quarter. And that's what you're doing. If you half a quarter, you get an eighth. So that's your denominator. The numerator is how many of those denominators is here in the fraction. So this one here, somebody's stolen a bit of my pizza. So that's 1/4 gone. So one part of the 4 is gone. How many are left? Tell it's 3. But still missing one, no. Anyway, enough about the pizza. It's to do with the numbers here. So what we've got is we've got 3 pieces out of the 4 that's left. So therefore it's written with the numerator at the top. You get 3 pieces out of a possible 4. So that's your fractions there. So try writing some of these as fractions, just based upon what I'd actually just shown you there. So if we have a look at one part of a chocolate bar equally broken between yourself and a friend. Not the way in which siblings, I've got brothers, and they always say to you, yeah, which half do you want? And they say left or right, and they'd hide behind the back. There you are, you have the weakest half. No, I mean equals, alright? That's the way it should be broken, in half. So a bit for you, a bit for me. Okay, so write that. You try doing this. So I've got a few quizzes in this, and also the next videos in this series of videos. So try writing this down yourself. So one part of chocolate bar equally broken between yourself and a friend. One piece of a small cake. I don't like small cakes. I like big cakes. Anyway, as you can tell, I know what you're thinking. One piece of a small cake that has been cut into 4 pieces for sharing. Whether it's a cake or whether it's a pizza, it's the same thing. So when we come down to the numbers, so don't be put off by sentences where you're putting it into a practical situation. And that's the whole point of numbers, is we use it on a daily basis. So we do. So one piece of a small cake that has been cut into 4 for sharing. One slice of a pizza that has been cut into 8 pieces for sharing between 8 hungry people. I'm one of them. But I'm looking for the one piece. So 1 slice out of the 8. 3 sweeties of a bag of 50 sweets. So you get three sweeties out of your nice big bag of 50 Swedgers. 48 lollipops from a bag of 100 in total. 48 of them out of 100. Make a wee note. Pause the video if you have to. Run through it again. You pause it and we'll go to the next bit in a minute. Okay, thanks for pausing. I know you would. You wouldn't cheat. I know you wouldn't. I got my eyes on you anyway. Anyway, enough of the fun. Can't have fun in numeracy, can we? Aye, you can. It's all good fun, especially when you're talking about food and sweeties and pizza and cake and chocolate. Of course you can. Right, the next bit. So the answer to the first one there, 1 part of 2. The next one, 1 of 4. 1 of 8. 3 of 50. 48 out of 100. So there's the 48 out of 100. Guess what we're going on to next? Yes, percentages. Right, so I'm going to leave it there, and in the next one, I'm going to start with this wee bit, and I'll start with this wee quiz with the answers there anyway, okay? Right, I hope you enjoyed that bit there first, when we had a wee look at fractions. We're going to have a wee look at percentages, and then we'll be back to fractions a wee bit, because they all intermingle anyway. So hopefully it's helped you understand the basics of the fractions there, and like I love to try to do is to put it across so that we're using it in everyday life, and it's nothing more than everyday life, especially when it's those pizzas and cakes and sweeties and chocolate and stuff. I don't know if you could hear there, my belly was rumbling there. Anyway, I'm going to have a cuppa and a bit of cake. No, I'm on a diet, so I'm going to go and have a wee cuppa and a wee bit of breakfast that I missed earlier there because I was with students. So I'm going to come back the next one. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon.